It's the Daily 304's presentation of famous people, places, and events that shaped West Virginia. Welcome to the History Project. Today we take a look at the Baldwin-Felts Detective Agency, Part 2 of the West Virginia Mine Wars. Few come within the compass of my curse, wherein I did not some notorious ill, as kill a man or devise his death. These words came from Shakespeare's most brutal play, Titus Andronicus, and they could easily have been the motto of the Baldwin-Felts Detective Agency. The agency was first started by William Baldwin in Charleston, West Virginia, before moving it to Roanoke, Virginia. Years later, he was joined by attorney Thomas Phelps, and they moved their office to Bluefield on the West Virginia side in 1910. The purpose of the agency was to investigate railroad incidents, but their methods were abominable. If a railroad was being sued for an accident, Baldwin and Phelps would produce a person of color to take the blame. They enforced the unspoken code of the disgraceful Jim Crow laws of the day and worked to control black migration from the deeper South. As American industry grew unchecked, so did the Baldwin-Felts Agency, adding scores of gun-wielding men to act as what they passed off as detectives. Impressed with their barbarous work for the railroads, out-of-state coal companies hired them to be strikebreakers, thus employing the agency's brutality but giving the distant coal operators plausible deniability of their methods. Baldwin-Felts detectives created the flashpoint of some of America's worst labor struggles of the 20th century, not just in West Virginia, but also in Kentucky and Colorado. The agency spent the last days of the 1930s shanghaiing homeless people for a workhouse in North Carolina. Today, Baldwin-Felts detectives are remembered as a dark tide that swept over our nation's labor history, leaving only a path of death and destruction for anyone within the compass of their curse.